I also want to introduce a very good friend of mine, Terry. I've known her for more than 15 years. She is an amazing writer. She teaches, and she'll tell you more about herself. And she's going to do a gallery talk. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled for Priti. My background, in case you're wondering, why am I doing a gallery talk? I've been a freelance arts reviewer for probably about the length of time that I've known Priti. In fact, back in the early days, I wrote for the now defunct Middlesex Beat. I don't know if any of you are old. Oh, wonderful. I was the features writer, so the last few years that I wrote for that and did the cover stories, and that meant they all were visual artists. And I loved it. I also went on to write articles for the Boston Globe Sunday magazine in terms of art, and for our local paper, the Westford Eagle, as well as for some literary journals, in which I did a combination of writing about art and also writing about literature and how the two work together. I am not a visual artist myself. I am a poet, and I'm also an English teacher. So I'd like to start us off over here, and we will end over with these two paintings on this wall, on this corner by the side of the door. I want to start with this painting. This is Summer Garden, and this is unusual in that it is acrylic on printmaking paper, and Priti always uses high quality, archival quality materials, and that includes the canvas or the paper. So this is archival quality printmaking paper, and that gives it the smoother finish. I'm going to see if
No, I think you're right.
Okay. So it's a much more smooth, flowing appearance than normally with acrylic and canvas. And as you can see, I asked Priti, what's your muse? Do you have a muse? And she said immediately, flowers. Who can resist flowers? And I can't myself. So the play of movement here, not only do you have that bold, saturated color, which is also a hallmark of Priti's work, but you have the play of light up here with the yellow, the gold, and that feeling of movement, of breeze with the petals. This was selected for the Danforth Art Museum's annual juried show this past spring, I believe. Over here, we're going to move on to Colorful India. And this is acrylic on canvas. Oh, I'm sorry, it's watercolor on canvas? Sorry, thank you. This is, oh yes, watercolor on canvas. And Priti said, when I asked her about the muse, she said flowers, and then she said, well, nature. Nature in general. And here we have that bit of nature. I think, especially for any of you who are familiar with street scenes in India, you'll recognize this is on a street, but we have the focus on the camel, the tree, the background, and we bring in that feeling of nature. And the color on these bold, saturated colors of the regalia covering of this camel brings us in, but then there's a meditative quality, and that also is very much a part and a feature of Priti's work. We're brought in, but our eye stays. Some of these are inspired by visits to Cape Cod. Some of them, this one particularly, and the one on the top, the two on the top. These, we don't have quite that rocky look on Cape Cod, but seascapes in general, and we have nature again nature as the muse. And we have the movement and the color. We can see, imagine the waves moving. We can almost hear the sounds of the gulls and the waves and the wind, and probably the people that are offshore, that are outside of the frame who are laughing and talking. And this one, Morning with Seagulls. Down here we have Endless Summer Splash. These are both acrylic on canvas. Again, we have that color that grabs us, the movement, but then there's the meditative, peaceful quality. Our eye lingers here, that far horizon. I'm going to save the middle one for last. The painting up here on the top, and this is Rohan's favorite?
Yeah, that was in my office.
That was right. You graciously have allowed your mother to.
Yeah, someone.
Someone. And this one is Ocean Spray, I believe.
Yeah.
So, again, acrylic on canvas, and we have that movement. And in this one, well, it is, I think we definitely feel it's realistic, it's objective. We can tell what it is about. There's some movement more towards an abstraction. The waves. Down here in the far bottom, we have Symphony of the Seas. And it's a view that we feel as if we're at the top of the cliff, or at least more on top of the rocks looking down. And again, our eye is drawn down to the water and the movement and the play of light that move horizon, as well as the sun dappled on, and setting sun dappling the rocks. I promised you I would talk about the painting in the center. This is Rhapsody of the Sea. This is also acrylic, but this is more abstract than the others, and was painted in a way that is more experimental, and it literally is a waterscape, in that the canvas was submerged in a tub of water. The acrylic paints were distributed on top, and then the canvas was lifted out and Priti shifted and adjusted to get the look that she wanted with this. Okay, we're going to move down now to this far wall for use of the fish. This was accepted and displayed in the Chelmsford Center for the Arts Garden Show. And here, again, we see the hallmarks of Priti's style and her work, her aesthetic. We have the bold, saturated colors, the oranges, blues, even a bit of a, I don't know, cerise, not cerise, but a type of green there. And our eye is drawn in. There's the movement of the water, of the fish, the flow, circling here. And with the direction, the angles of the fish, our eye is further drawn in. And then, as we do with beautiful pools of water, we pause and we reflect. The peaceful meditative quality again. So there's a bit of a paradox that works. The vibrancy of the colors and the movement, but that creates this meditative feeling. Moving down to the center, Bougainvillea, which was awarded Best in Show at the Art Institute group of Merrimack Valley. This is watercolor. And again, beautiful, beautiful colors and translucence. Those of us familiar with this lovely tropical flower, you can see, you know how those saturated colors, but then the leaves are so fragile, the petals are so fragile. It's like tissue paper, and we get that quality, the way the light is moving through the petals. Additionally, we have this diffused light in the corners with the surrounding vegetation that really centers our eye on this spray of Bougainvillea. Okay, I'm going to move down to the last painting on this wall, Sunlit Leaves, which is also watercolor. A slightly different color palette than what we've seen so far. It's more green and brown, some sepia, not quite the bold, vibrant colors that we've seen before, but we have this play of light, the movement and the flow. And I love the angle. I feel as if I'm crouching down in a bush, looking up at the sunlight coming through the leaves here. This is, surprisingly enough, called Jar of Olives. And it is acrylic on canvas. Within painting, there is an ancient tradition of painting olives, perhaps because olives are ubiquitous in Greece and Italy, places where where art is a great, great ancient tradition. Here, we still have the nature in the form, or life in the form of a plant, of olives, of fruit. And we have those vibrant colors that we've come to expect. We have the green, the orange, red, that all focus our eye on how the light plays through this jar. We also have in the back, in this whole series, Priti's own experimental stencil design and technique on the wallpaper, and that further brings our eye, adds interest and brings our eye into the object. Okay, we're going to move down to Still Life with Pomegranate, and this also was selected for the Danforth Art Museum's annual juried show. This is acrylic on canvas. And again, we see the stenciling in the background. Our eye is drawn in by those lovely red, purple red, and does anyone know what these seeds are called? I know that, pomegranates are the in fruit these days, and we're always reading about how they have a name, I can't remember them. But our eye is brought in, they look so juicy. You can just imagine biting into those. The light, the tulips, and the stenciling further draw our eye in, as does the curve of the bowl. We are centered on this halved pomegranate. And again, we have that meditative focus on an object and just let your mind go. Down here, Chai is acrylic on canvas, and this is a celebrity. It's featured on the India New England talk show Chai with Manju. So if you've ever seen Chai with Manju, you've probably seen a print of this in the background. We have some special things going on here. The tea bags, not only do they hint at, cause us to think of actual green tea bags, but they also, do you see the Indian flag, the colors there? So there's that hint. that deepens it. We have this beautiful fabric. You can almost imagine the texture of this fabric, that rust, bright, vibrant red. The flow of this napkin. Also, again, our eye is drawn to the steaming mug of chai. I can just imagine the taste and the relaxing feeling of that. Down here at the end, we have dinner party arrangement. I love peonies. They don't last very long in our New England gardens. Think of these beautiful, plump peonies with their just delicious colors, the bright red, the delicate pink, or almost a salmon or a peach, and then we have this very delicate pink over here. We have the flow of this fabric, and also the way the light comes through. It's gossamer fabric. You can imagine that. And it, again, brings our eye here to those lovely flowers. We have one small wall left. I'm going to bring you over here to this corner of pink ribbon. And pink ribbon is watercolor on paper. And I think here we have all those elements we've been talking about. We have that vibrant, saturated color in the ribbon itself, in this fabric. We have nature and that beautiful, beautiful hydrangea blossom. And we have the movement, the flow, brings our eye in. The swirl of the ribbon, we have the texture and the folds of this, we don't know, is it a tablecloth or a napkin or just some fabric that's there? We have the swooping lines here where the light is coming in, maybe it's a curtain. The curves of the vase and the petals themselves, the play of light on the petals, so that it is, again, once exciting, energizing, stimulating, but also contemplative. So, thank you. If you have any questions, the expert herself is over here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So if anybody has any questions, she's the lady to ask.